Hey punks, Chaotic here.
And I'm Figure, the producer. Welcome to Beyond the Pit, the show where we talk to artists about their bands, their sound, and their mental health journeys.
Joining us for today's edition of Beyond the Pit, we have Juan Pablo Carrera from Poison the Preacher. Figure, give him the rundown.
Hey punks, just a reminder, you can find this and all of our Beyond the Pit interviews on RockMental's official YouTube channel. They're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Now, back to the video.
All right, let's get to it. Poison the Preacher is a thrash / hardcore 4-piece band from Bogota, Colombia. Every song is packed with heavy riffs, angry vocals, and nonstop metal mastery that is sure to get you in the moshing mood. Juan Pablo is the band's guitarist and lead vocalist, and he is a driving force behind Poison the Preacher's one-of-a-kind sound. His lyrics go deep into mental health issues that a lot of us go through and serve as a reminder that we're not alone. I am so stoked to welcome Juan Pablo Carrera to Beyond the Pit. Hi, Juan. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, man. I gotta say, I'm a thrash metal fan. I got my Pantera shirt on, Metallica, Anthrax, all that stuff. Just that's my jam. And I gotta say, hearing Poison the Preacher was just holy shit. It was just so fucking awesome. So I mean, you guys kick so much ass.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'm flattered that you are mentioning us with those other big names.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, it just the power, the energy, just everything that you guys put into it is just so awesome, man. And it's, so guys, to wonder like what how did you guys get together? Like, let's start at the beginning. How did you four guys meet? When did you guys start playing? How did you become Poison the Preacher?
Well, we are all musicians, like college musicians. So we all met at school, basically. I wanted to form a band for the longest time, and I couldn't seem to get the right people for it until in 2021. I already got some songs written down. I got Throne of Blood and Spiritual Deception already written down, and I just asked around in college, like, hey, I need a drummer and I need a guitar player, I need whatever. And I already knew some people, but the only one that I didn't knew before we formed the band was the drummer Sergio. I didn't know him. I asked Tomas before he was the bass player, like, hey, I need a drummer for this metal band that I'm trying to do. And he said, well, yeah, I got a friend of mine that he's going to be down for it or whatever. And yeah, for sure, I talked to Sergio, we meet, we jam some songs, and I just tell him, well, you're in. And we started from there, and then we started with another friend of mine that was a guitar player and another bass player. And eventually, they weren't, like too committed, and they got like another goals or whatever. And we eventually ended up with the lineup that we have right now, but we all met in college. Like, I knew Juan Camilo from college, and I knew Tomas from college, and I knew Sergio from college. So basically we all met there, and with this idea to make music and to make a band, we essentially got together and started jamming out, and the usual stuff, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's how it is, right? I mean, I know in high school, I was a bassist, and so I would just jump from band to band, or whoever needed the bassist this gig. All right, what are you guys playing? Deftones? Oh, okay, cool. So I definitely get that, but it's cool how you like, you know, get together and you finally figure, all right, let's do this. That's the cool part, and it's really awesome to hear like those sort of stories, man. But hey, I mean, what sort of music did you guys jam out to? Did you like cover some songs early on? I know on the show I mentioned you guys had that Anthrax, that classic 80s thrash, Metallica, Sepultura, those sort of sounds. Like which bands were you like, listening to and maybe, trying to cover and stuff?
Well, I mean, for sure, the common ground that we all have a band and we all love is Metallica. Like, that's like ground zero for all of us. I'm sure that we all started to get into this kind of music because of them. So what we all know, like right out of the gate, is Metallica. Like we all know songs from Metallica. We covered a couple of them in the beginning, and we also covered some Exodus. We still do a cover of Sepultura from time to time. Yeah, but basically, like influences, we tend to go a little more modern, I guess, with bands like Power Trip, like Dead Heat, like Ekulu, Enforced, Drain, Turnstile, Not Loose, Cool Like Can,
Yeah.
all these kinds of bands that are, like getting the flagship of hardcore, in the States and in Europe. Like we are really a big fan of that scene and those styles. And we really are a fan of the fact that all those bands, like they are so different from each other, but they are all like so united and shit. Like, yeah, Pain of Truth, Tsunami, Scowl, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are a really big fan of that scene. And I guess that's where we get like a huge part of our sound, but we are also like really fortunate to be musicians, so we are open to almost all kinds of music. So we got inspiration from other types of music as well, not only metal. Maybe prog music, maybe jazz, maybe salsa, maybe whatever, punk, rock, blues. So we are a really we have a really open mind to all kinds of music to try and figure out how to put all the things that we love about each thing into our songs. We like to do this for the fan of it, so we just try to make the songs as fun as they can be to play.
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, I can't be a metal fan and talk to another metal fan without asking the hard question. Who are your top 5 bands?
Oh, damn. Didn't expect this question. I would have thought about it all day because, this is a hard fucking question. I mean, for sure, Metallica has got to be there. For sure, Metallica. Uh, I guess, I guess Pantera has to be up there for sure as well. All the bullshit surrounding them aside, I really love Pantera.
Yeah.
Uh, what else, man? I don't know. Maybe Power Trip could be a good one that I really enjoy, that really has inspired me.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess, damn, this is a really hard question. Oh, Slayer, of course, Slayer.
There. Yeah.
The fucking goats. I can't leave them out. I have mentioned 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah. 4.
And I guess I'm gonna go with Terror for the 5th one. Terror is a band that I really, 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 really like, and it's a band that really drew me to hardcore, at a really young age. I just really love that band, man. Like that they are so true to what they do and to their sound and to their fans. I really love Terror, man.
Awesome. Yeah, hey, all killer bands, man. And yeah, definitely Metallica is my number 1 also. Like that is like Metallica's home base for me. Like, yeah, Pantera, and then you can go off to like Korn and
Yeah,
this kid.
yeah.
But Metallica, that's home. Man, Figured and I actually just went to go see them in Denver back in June, and just holy shit, man. It was just out of this world, man. It was so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they came here to Colombia with that stadium tour that they are doing.
Yeah.
The shows look so fucking cool and the lineups are crazy, dude. Like last time I saw like a flyer and it was Pantera, Suicidal Tendencies, and Metallica. Like,
Yeah.
what's that lineup, dude? Like, that's insane for me. That's really insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
who
I wish they come here, soon enough.
yeah. Yeah, that's who opened up on the second day with Suicidal Tendencies, Pantera, and then Metallica. Oh man, that it was just, I mean, mosh pit like all over the place. I think we almost started moshing in the stands. It was insane. It was so cool. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, hopefully, I know they're gonna do a European, leg next year, but hopefully they can come back down, down to South America and Central America, hit you guys up, because I mean, we all know, we talked about this on the show, and we talked a little bit right now, how Colombia and Mexico and pretty much all of Latin America, there's some crazy heavy metal fans, like really like rabid, angry metal fans. Like, what have you seen, and what do people not know, about this part of the world in heavy metal music?
Yeah, I guess a lot of people don't realize that the craziest crowds that you can get for a metal or a hardcore show are going to be in Latin America, dude. Like, for real, like 100%. Like, we have, I mean, we're going to Europe this year, so we are going to have like first on impressions of what the difference is. But from what I have seen here in Latin America, and especially in Colombia, the crowds are fucking insane, man. Like, they are so aggressive, they are so angry. Like, they mosh to fucking knock out people. Like, they are not pulling punches; they are going full out, broken teeth, and breaking noses and whatever. Like, we're playing. I have seen, singing and, watching the crowd. I have seen people get knocked out with, a head kick or whatever. Several people get knocked out at shows here in Colombia. And I'm sure that, I mean, you can see videos and whatever from, for example, I think it was last year that System of a Down came to Latin America. And there's a crazy video, I think it's in Sao Paulo, in Brazil. There's like a whole stadium like mosh pitting and with flames and whatever, like they are so insane here. And I guess a lot of people don't realize that, or they'll come here more often because shows here are so great. The energy that you get in Latin America, you're not going to get anywhere else in the world. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And I gotta say, your music just goes right into that raw energy. I think on the show I featured Hazardous Vegetation is just holy shit, awesome. But I gotta say, your guys' latest album, Versus the World, I mean, it's a masterpiece, man. Like, it's up there. It's got the same energy and mastery of like Pantera and Megadeth. Like, it's up there, and I love that intro with future tense. That's so cool, and everything like that. So I mean, to me, it's just a complete metal album. Talk about, how did that songwriting process go, and talk about that like experience of putting that full album together.
Well, first off, thank you so much. That really means a lot. We really put out into this album, and I love that you mentioned this other band, but we are stepping on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
Like, these are all guys that have helped us to get here. And yeah, I mean, the writing process started on 2023 when we were releasing singles and whatever. But at the time we already written like I don't know, like 3-4 songs. Like Congelado and Tiempo was already written, Dying Every Day was already written, and I think a couple of more of them were already in process. So I don't know, we just felt that it was the time to put out a full release, and we got the interest from this label, Seek and Strike, that put out the album. So we said to ourselves, like, well, I guess it's time to do an album. So after 2023, we released the last single before the album, Subject to Die. Basically, the first half of 2024 was all writing, getting to listen to all types of music so we can include it, like getting inspiration, getting, ideas, whatever. So the writing process was about like 2-3 months maybe, where while we were finishing all the songs and creating the songs that we didn't have beforehand. So yeah, I mean, the process, it was really fun overall. It was the first time that we did something like this, because beforehand we just worked on individual songs, but we never thought of an album, before. So it was really funny, really interesting. We had some challenges, like for example with One Man Army, a song that I really like. We only had like the beginning of the song, but since it's such a different song from the others that we have done, like we really had a hard time like figuring out the structure, figuring out the riffs, figuring out what we wanted the song to be. But I was really pleased with the result, and I was really pleased with the result of the album in general. Like I think we really put out like a good team around it. Ben Jones from Pest Control Mixing, he killed it. He did a great job. He did exactly what we wanted in terms of sound. We got Nicolas Spotti from Spain doing the artwork, and same, he did an excellent job. He got the vibe that we wanted for the album, like this kind of tattoo comic like aesthetic, for the album. And yeah, apart from that, the label did its job, and we have to do some shows and whatever. I really felt pleased with the result that the album had, and I'm just excited to finish what we are writing at the moment, to release it as soon as we can. Like I already moved on from these songs, like as I would say, and I'm really excited to go to what's next, because we got a lot in storage for for next releases and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely, man. That is so awesome. And I gotta say, I mean, I went through the full album, like back in the day, when you would buy a CD and you listen to the whole thing, through the order, and then you could do this. I did the same thing. I went through the order, listened to all of them. And I gotta say, the song that really got me was Congelado en el Tiempo. Specifically, there's a line in there that you say, no hay ningún mañana sin sufrir el hoy, congelado en tiempo, mi zona de confort. Right? Which translates roughly to, there's no tomorrow without suffering today, frozen in time, my comfort zone. To me, that's just like, that's heavy, man, because I think for a lot of people, they are stuck in that time, right? They're stuck in regret. They're stuck in grief. They're stuck in a lot of, mental health issues. And so, a lot of times they find that that's like their comfort zone. They want to be stuck there. Talk about what that message of that song, man. Like when you're writing that song, what sort of do you want to say to that listener?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up that line, because that line actually comes from Rocky. I don't remember which movie from Rocky, but there's the scene where Apollo and Rocky are training, and Rocky is saying to Apollo like he's tired or whatever, and he's saying to Apollo, tomorrow. And Apollo yells at him and says, there is no tomorrow, there is no tomorrow. And I felt like that line really speaks to me volumes, and it speaks to what I was feeling when I wrote that song. And I was going through a breakup when I wrote the album in general, and you got those feelings of regret, you got those feelings of nostalgia, all those memories, and you don't wanna move on, you don't wanna do anything, and you are just stuck in the past. And I felt that that song was also like a way that I was telling to myself, like you gotta move on, you got to you got to be better. You can still be living in regret. You can live in the past. You can't, be here, feeling sorry for yourself, because no one is going to help you. And if you want to feel better, you can always control yourself. Like there's so much stuff in life that you can control that is out of your control. But the only thing that you can always control is how you react to things and what you do with the things that happen to you. And especially in this song, I felt like that's the message, you know, like you can always control yourself. You can choose to be stuck in nostalgia forever and, you know, live miserably, or you can just start one day at a time to move on, one day at a time to, you know, be better. And that's what the song is about, you know. And I guess the album in general really talks about this stuff, you know, like you got to do things for yourself because no one else is going to do them for you. And yeah, like mental health is a really big part of the album, like for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it is so true because yeah, there's I know for me, I get stuck in there too sometimes, whether it's, want to relive good times or, you're just stuck and can't get past some rough times. It's easy to fall into that. And I think for a lot of people who suffer with depression or anxiety or things like that, that's a very common place they get stuck in, um, for those fans out there that are dealing with, that hard time, that episode of depression or anxiety, or they're just, they're going through some really rough times right now. What would you say to them?
Well, you know, I would say to them first off that they're not alone. We have all been there. We will all be there again. Like that's something that's just constant in life, you know. All these challenges, all those emotional challenges, they are always going to be in your life. You just have to know that you can deal with them, to know that you can overcome them with time. You know, you also don't have to rush yourself to feel good because you know these things happen, man. Like we all have to go down so we can go up again. Like it the important thing here is how you react to the things that happen to you, how you act with the things that happen to you. And you know what I would say to those people is that I know the comfort zone is comfy, you know. That's why it's called a comfort zone, you know. I know that it's comfortable to, you know, do that, do not risk anything, to be in the same place, to, you know, not do things differently. But it's really important that you start to focus on yourself and, you know, on the people that surround you, that love you, to start to feel better, to evolve, to you know, don't get stuck in the past. You can always do little things here and there to make your life better. You know, you can start to dress nicely. You can start to go to the gym. You can start running. You can start, I don't know, whatever. You can start to listen to new music, to reading a new book. You can start to, you know, watching a new show. You know, you can start to hang out more with friends. You can start to do all these little different things that you can do to, you know, day by day, having a little progress. But you know, like in the long time, it's going to make like a really big difference. You know, so the most important thing is to not get comfortable. You never have to be comfortable. You always have to strive to be better because you can always be better.
Yeah, well said, man. Yeah, there's a lot of people going through stuff, and so I think those words are going to definitely help and remind people, because that's what we do here. In the metal community, we talk a lot about the mosh pit, right? It's loud, it's crazy. There's people throwing punches. It's people pushing each other, but in the end, there's just one universal rule, and that's when you see someone fall down on the ground, you pick them up. You know, and there's no time to figure out who they are, which band shirt they got on. You just pick them up, no questions asked. And that's what we're trying to do in our society, is to be more like a mosh pit, because we have a lot of people who fall down to addiction, to depression, to even suicidal thoughts, and that, going down that path. And it's everyone's job to get down there, pull them back up, dust them off, and make sure they're okay. And so what you just said and what you're doing with your music is definitely contributing to that. And I want to thank you for bringing those topics up, and speaking truth to power, and letting your fans and fans across the world know, like, you're not alone. Someone's got your back, and in the pit, nobody moshes alone. That's our mantra.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really like that analogy, like the world should be more like a mosh pit. Like if you fall down, someone's going to pick you up. I really like that. And yeah, also I think it's really important for people to know that they can always ask for help, Like I know a lot of people don't usually do that because, society or whatever. And I think that especially men don't do that.
Yeah.
They're not used to, seek help or seek mental help. And I think it's really important because I know there's someone out there that is going to help you with what you're going through if you can handle it yourself, because it's okay that you can do it yourself alone because, I'm sure that you are never alone. And I hope that these songs can, be like a company to people that are feeling, things that I felt when I wrote these songs, because I know it's hard to feel alone when you're going through a hard time. So I hope that people can resonate with these songs and they can feel a little bit of peace with them.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, thank you for that. And I gotta say, I can't wait to see what's next for Poison the Preacher. I know you guys are gonna have some shows in Colombia before you head off over to Europe. Talk about that. What are you anticipating? We're looking forward to, and like, are we, maybe coming over to, maybe the North America?
Well, first off, I'm going to talk about the things that we already have planned.
Yeah.
We got a couple of shows here in Colombia, to promote the album and whatnot. Hopefully, we got some really big shows around the time before the year ends. And then in September, we got our first European tour. We are so excited about it. I've personally never gone to Europe. So I'm really looking forward to it. We are going to be in Germany, we're going to be in Slovakia, in Czech Republic, we're going to be in Luxembourg, in France, in Spain, in Belgium, in the Netherlands. So, it's going to be like a really extensive tour. So apart from that, we got a really big show in Mexico. We got Off Limits Fest in Ciudad de Mexico. We are going to be playing with a really, really, really awesome show, with Weekend Nachos, The Whole Conspiracy, Each on Concrete, Death Before Dishonor, Ringworm, a lot of bands, it's going to be crazy. I'm really looking forward to that show as well because those are bands that I really, really enjoy, so it's going to be a pleasure to share the stage with them. Also, yeah, we want to go to the States, man. Like, that's one of our top priorities right now. There's a lot of people that have already shown interest, so we are for sure having that in mind, and we are for sure working around whatever we have to do to get there. And yeah, we got some new stuff, on the workbench. We are doing some new songs, and I'm glad that you like the mental health approach because these new songs also have that approach as well because on the other songs before the album we talked about maybe some political opinions and movies and games and bullshit like that, but I'm really glad that people are resonating with the more introspective stuff, and for sure some of the new stuff is going to be around that as well because I went through a breakup again, so so it's really hard to write about anything different when you are going through that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, going through that again, but hey, if it leads to good music, I mean it's awesome, man. And I'm glad you have an outlet, to deal in the process with those feelings. And I gotta say, from the fans perspective, from the fans here, it's all good music, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I already went over it,
Yeah.
That was like late last year.
Okay.
So I already going through that. But yeah, I'm glad that I have the opportunity to have an outlet, to express what I'm feeling, and that all, of course, helps me to go through it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope that these things, continue to resonate with people, and that people can identify themselves with the songs, and feel a little bit better, or that they don't feel that alone, and for sure.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, yeah, I gotta tell you, man. Hey, we're now I gotta look into see how I can get down to Mexico City, man. I gotta say I've been listening to Ringworm a little bit, and holy shit, they're good too, man. So if I can catch you guys on stage with that, that'd be awesome. So I gotta work on my stuff and try to see if I can head down there. But but hey, man, let for those of you who don't know, tell them where they can find Poison the Preacher's music, where they can find your merch page, wherever.
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook, on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram. Instagram is like our main page. So if anyone wants merch, or want to ask about shows or whatever, just hit us up on Instagram. And yeah, you can find our music almost anywhere. So if you want to go check us out in Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, you can absolutely can. And if you want to go check us out live, well, if you're in Mexico, you can go to Off Limits Fest, and if you are in Europe, you can go to our Instagram page, and go look to the flyer that we are going to be posting in a few days. And yeah, it's going to be a really few exciting moments for the band, and we got a lot in storage for the future. And I really hope that we can go to the States soon. I really hope.
Yeah, hopefully soon, man. Well, hey, Juan, thank you so much, dude, for joining us on Beyond the Pit. This was awesome. It was good getting to know you. Really excited. Con mucha suerte. You guys got it. Really, really rooting for you guys. And thanks for what you're doing for raising, awareness for mental health issues, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I feel like it's our responsibility that we all have when we are going through this kind of stuff. Like, if you fall down and you figure out how to get back up, you should help other people to get on their feet as well. So, I feel like it's an outlet, but it's also like a responsibility to raise awareness for these kinds of issues and help people. And yeah, thank you so much for having me here. Like, I really appreciate that people have interest in our music and in our band. Like, we started as a really small local band, and we have escalated quite a bunch. And yeah, I hope to see you in Mexico, man. Like, hopefully you can get there. It's going to be a really, really cool show.
Thanks for listening to this awesome conversation with Juan Pablo Carrera from Poison the Preacher. We at RockMental and the band appreciate your support. And if you'd like to continue supporting us, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It'll help make sure that we bring you the latest band interviews, new rock music, and mental health discussion. We also have links to Poison the Preacher's web pages and music at rockmental.com. Please give them a follow. They're an amazing band, and make sure to listen to their new album, Versus the World.
Once again, you can find this and all of our Beyond the Pit interviews on RockMental's official YouTube channel and on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Thanks again for watching. You can catch our other Beyond the Pit interviews right here. And if you're a fan of Metallica like Juan and I are, check out our conversation with Jeff Ogle from metal band Lockjaw. He's got a crazy story about meeting Lars that you're not want to miss. Click right here to watch that Beyond the Pit episode. Thanks again for watching, and keep rocking, folks. Chaotic out.